morning and welcome to the Let's Talk segment of Morning Dew here on Orient Television Channel 59 and also on Star Times Channel 1.3. So if you're joining us today, you're in for a swell time. Trust me, you understand. My name is NMAJU and today we're discussing how to get our kids involved, you understand, preoccupied these holiday seasons. Are the summer lessons necessary? What are the pros and the cons? And I have been in the studio this morning, a very capable guest, you understand. Professionally, she's a pediatrician. And then she's also a mom of like, how many, don't we should tell us how many children she has. She's no other person than Dr. Mrs. Chidinma Udah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, can you just tell them about yourself?
Good morning, Esther. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Dr. Chidinma Udah. I'm a pediatrician. I'm a mother of 4 kids. So I'm a working mom. I would see myself as driven, as a disciplinarian, and as a fun mom too.
Oh, okay. So, like a very strict mom. That's what I carry king. Okay, so far, we've been in the holiday season this period for like, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the school. So how has it been for you so far?
It's been, I would say it's been interesting. Okay, like I said earlier, I have 4 kids. They're all in school, and this is not our first holiday period. It's not our first long vacation. So I've tried both sides. I've done summer lessons. I've also kept them at home. So I think I've experienced the 2 sides, and I know the pros and cons. So
which one are you doing right now?
They're at home. They're at home. Yeah. 2 years ago, they attended summer lessons, but this year I decided that they would be at home.
Okay, your oldest is how old?
My oldest is 10.
Oh.
And the youngest is 2.
So, fine. You've done the 2. You've done the summer classes, and now you're doing the stay at home. Yeah. Now, you're working mom, you go to work, right? Yes. So who stays with them when you're
I have someone. I have, a hired help who has been with us for years. So she stays with them. I have no worries at all when I go to work. But I also have activities that keep them busy at home. For example, we just finished Children's Day in church, so I had enough time to take them, to ferry them around, for the rehearsals and everything. I also, they have structured TV times. They don't watch TV all day. They watch TV for some hours. They read their book for some hours. And there are also hours for play. I mean, that children, they need to exercise. As a pediatrician, child development is not just cognitive. There are different aspects of child development. There's the physical, there's the cognitive, there's the social, and then there's the language. So you have to pay attention to everything. A lot of parents just pay attention to cognitive. You have to take first in school. You have to be brilliant. But life is not just about taking first in class. There are other aspects. They need to learn how to interact with other people. They need to learn how to study people's emotions, know what to say, when to say. So that's what holidays teach you. Maybe you have everything in school. So I want them to also have that. So.
Okay, so now you've done this stay at home for like how many weeks now?
So 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
No, they're not destroying things.
No. Okay, I don't know if I'm lucky or whether it's training, but I've not really had issues with kids breaking things. They play alright, but I won't say they are destructive. It's not a problem. But when you have kids, you don't expect your house to be quiet and always speak and span. Children will be children. They will play, they run around. But as long as they're not destructive, it's fine. And they should know when to go to bed. Since there's no school tomorrow, they'll probably want to play into the night. But you should know when to say it's bedtime. Children also need sleep, to develop properly. So bedtimes are not compromised. They've been extended a bit, but they're not compromised.
Okay. Okay. Now I want us to go to the pros and cons. You understand? When you did the summer classes, what were the advantage you think you had then over now? We'll still go to this.
Yeah. Okay, so holiday lessons have advantages. One, kids are not idle. When kids are at home, there's a tendency to, since they have the whole day, the tendency to just let them do whatever they want to do. There's no structure, so they just wake up, have breakfast, maybe do a few chores and play all through. So they're kind of idle, they're not productive. So the people who advocate for holiday lessons have their reasons. That engaged, for a few hours, there's some form of structure they learn. Another pro of holiday lessons are for kids who are slow learners. Maybe in school, the 3 months, for the term was not enough for them to grab all the concepts. So during the holiday, they're able to catch up. And then for kids who are in the exam classes, maybe they have maybe common entrance or something, or junior YE, it helps them, it brushes them up, and they prepare for the exam. And on the other hand, it also prevents, as in kids who for kids who, as in somehow, for kids who are destructive, so for kids who are destructive, somehow it's relief for the parents, especially for parents, and then maybe for parents who don't have help, some parents go to work, daddy goes to work, mommy goes to work, there's nobody to stay with them, so holiday lessons keeps them, somewhere like safe while mommy and daddy goes to work and come back. So those are the pros. It's not all bad, so.
Okay, now, so what are the pros of staying at home before we go to
the pros of staying at home, they bond with their siblings, they bond with parents, For parents who, who are able to send them off to stay with their grandparents or aunts, they learn things. I mean, they travel, they learn how to interact with other people that are not dad, mom, and siblings, So they learn human interactions. They also learn how to do their chores. In fact, it's during long vacation that people learn how to bake at home, maybe how to clean the house. As a woman, you have to still learn how to wash, how to cook. Everything is not school, cook. So they learn how to, take care of the house. And then generally, as I staying at home, okay, but like in my house, my kids read a lot, so they catch up on their reading, and I spend a lot buying books for them, so they catch up on their reading. Somehow it broadens their horizon, and they learn things outside the classroom. And then for parents who are intentional, which is, I'm sure, the reason why we're having this show, there's so many things you can do, there's so many apps you can download to keep them busy, book apps, you can enroll them for coding, baking classes,
before we
swimming.
get to that, we're talking about the pros now.
So
So now what about the cons of bundling your like actually for me, my children, they are like 2 years to few months, you understand, old, and I come to work, my husband also go to work, and I don't patronize helps because it does not work for me. I've tried, it didn't work. So what I now do, anything I'm off, I keep them in the house. When I'm going to work like today, I bundle them to the holiday center. Actually, I'm not sure they're learning any important thing there, but it's not my business. They just need to leave me and give me space. Let me face. So now, are there cons to this? Are there disadvantages of what I'm doing? And other parents are also doing it. Some people just want 5 children, grown up. So okay, by 7 o'clock, march to your lesson as if you're going to school. What are the cons?
Okay, so everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. First of all, they're not free, So when your kids go for holiday, you're paying for it. If you have more than one child, maybe you have 3, 4 kids, you're paying for 4 people.
Most times it's not so expensive.
It's affordable, but the important thing is that it's not free. Shot dips into the family pocket, And then the kids don't get to rest, Okay, this year especially, I don't know about your kids' school, but like my kids' school, from January, they've been in school almost from January to August. The COVID last year affected, school schedule. So there was really no holiday. The days were 2 days, every weekends, and that was it. So I think the brain needs to rest. All the academic thing, pumping them that's why it's called a holiday. They need to rest. They need to catch their brain. So kids don't get to. And then that schedule of waking up in the morning, everybody dressing up. As it's even you're not resting per se. Like if your kids are going to school, you have to wake up very early, dress them up, take them to school. But during holiday, you can let your head down. But if you're doing holiday lesson, you still have to wake up early, dress them up and board. So there's that, the logistics of taking them to and fro, and then, okay, basically, that's it. Okay, and then they don't get to learn things outside the classroom. Everything is not just school. Unless if the holiday lesson where you're going to is teaching them crafts, dance, and things like that, But some schools are still just doing math, English, it's still like school, So, I mean, they need to rest.
Okay. Now, there are also cons because during the COVID time, I think last year, there's this NGO that came here, and they came here because we noticed that the level of sexual molestation for underage children was on the rise. You understand? And also, we found out that during this holiday period where parents keep their children at home or sometimes send them to their grannies or aunties and all that to stay, you don't really have control over what goes on there. And also, most times the aunt you're taking your child to is also working or has a business is running and probably will leave that child in the care of maybe his or her older children. You understand? So don't you think that is also a problem?
Yes, it's a con, because a lot of sexual molestations that occur in uncles or aunties' houses because you feel, okay, she's my sister, she'll take good care of my child. But just like you said, she's also busy, she goes to work. So maybe there's another uncle that lives there or somebody. So there's a lot, even the older kids of the said aunts, can also molest the child. Even child abuse. Some people go to their aunt's house and auntie turns them into a house help, all kinds of things. They come back with all kinds of injuries. So that's also a problem. So if you're not sure where you're referring your kids to, just keep them to yourself and do what you need to.
Okay, so aside this, because I'll go back to this, because I think this is actually a huge problem, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not so comfortable with taking my children to anywhere. Why I even do this school is because I can hold you responsible, like seriously. So now, are there other cons attached to keeping your child or your children at home during this holiday period?
Okay, yes. In addition to all that we've already said, especially if you don't have, an adult help, taking care of them, they're prone to accidents. Maybe your oldest child is 6 or 7 and they don't know how to turn on the gas, or they plug water and leave it. I mean, anything can happen. There can be fire accidents, water accident. Anything can just go wrong. So you have to find a way. If your oldest child is not old enough, you may need to get someone. I don't think it's not good to leave children unsupervised. So that's also, they can get injured. They can even leave the house and go out. I mean, anything can just go wrong. So you have to find a way of keeping an eye on them.
Okay, so now you're advocating that if your child must be at home, that there should be an adult supervision over the child. Now let's go to this. Let's talk about the molestation thing about children, because while yes, we're saying that most people bundle their children to holiday lessons, it's actually those who are working who has some level of financial capacity that can actually do that. Most people don't. People still patronize grannies and aunts and uncles and all that. Some send their children maybe from Owerri to like Lagos, Abuja. Some people travel out. Anyway, that was even better because we're catching football. At least this we did that we do. And those people, like at least I've had my own share of holidays. They are so busy. They say, hey, bring them, you understand? But they are busy. So that what can parents do? What do you think they can do to, okay, even if they send their children there, or even if my children are at home, what do you think they can do to ensure that these kids are a bit safeguarded?
Okay. Well, for if your child is traveling to an aunt or an uncle's place, maybe you can send them with your trusted help. If you have a help, who is old enough to, to control them there. I mean, it won't be a bad idea. But if your kids are just going there, you're at the mercy of their host. I really don't think there's much you can do to supervise what goes on there. Maybe call them frequently. Well, you can't keep a camera and be monitoring what's happening. So you have to just make sure that you trust the person, the person's values before sending. It's not altogether a bad thing. Children get to know their cousins, their grannies, and all that. But they have to have the same, that their parents have to have the same values as you. You should be sure that, okay, if I'm strict about these things, my sister or my brother is also strict about these things. So, but if your kids are just going to be in your house, and I don't know, you just have to find a way. You have to find a way. Maybe keep nanny cams or something. You need to know what's going on.
Does this work?
Oh, they do nanny cam. You can be wherever you are, monitoring what's going on at home. Yeah.
Okay. Now you're a pediatrician, and we're saying there are levels to this thing. You understand? Now, some people have adult helps in their houses. Maybe you're paying someone like a nanny to take care of you. Maybe your oldest child, like hers, is up to 10 years. Yes. So now, what instructions can you leave for the help to actually ensure that these children are well catered for? Like they tick all these boxes. The cognitive, the learning, the language, whatever boxes they are ticking it. So what do you think they can do?
So a help who has stayed with you long enough should know the schedule. But beyond the schedule, your help should know when to call for help. He should know when to call you. You should be reachable. Maybe if a child is being incorrigible, she's trying to correct the person. Don't do this, and the person, she should call you and let you know. Maybe one of them, the child falls ill, somebody develops fever all of a sudden and vomiting all of a sudden, she should let you know. Or if maybe there's a spat that's refused to be resolved at that level, they should let you know. You shouldn't escalate it. If there's some form of accident at home, she should also let you know. And any other thing that is out of the ordinary. But somebody who has stayed with you for a few months should definitely know the family schedule and know what to do.
It's not all. Some can stay for years and still be dramatic. You understand? Now, moving on, I'm talking about the academic part now. Okay. Because for me, while I was growing up, I think I had a turnaround scenario, courtesy of holiday lesson. But that one was free vacation lesson organized by one church like that. And we went, and to be honest, that was my turning point, academic. In fact, and that was just maybe because sometimes some of these lessons, it's not like it's pupils from that particular school. People come from different places, and then you might just meet a pupil there or a student who attends lesson that is just so good, and you're wondering, please, from what planet am I actually coming from? And then that will just mark the turning point of your life. Then now, for those staying at home, most of these helps might not be as educated as we are. You understand? But you said something that there are levels, you have to be cognitive, do this and that. Are there things you can tell the help to do so that the children can also not fall back? Because most times, you know that during these lessons, they teach you first time work. And when we resume, it's as if for that first time you're flying. So don't you think they are losing out?
No, but my personal opinion is that you shouldn't leave your academics in the hands of your help as much as possible.
Then
how educated
they should go to the lesson.
The holidays are not just for, they've left for 3 months, for goodness sake. They'll go to school after a few weeks, and they'll catch up. I don't think it's okay to just leave your kids' homework and everything in the hand. You should pay attention to your children's academics. So if I'm giving you homework, maybe before I leave the house, I'll tell you, do from numbers, this to this. When I come back, I'll look at it. My help is not there to teach you schoolwork. That is either my job or a lesson teacher's job or your teacher's job. My help will probably just ensure that, okay, if you're supposed to be reading between 11 and 2, mommy says you should read between 11 and 2, but I didn't pay her to come and be teaching you that, So you have a timetable. Hers is to make sure you follow your timetable, but I don't expect that to be doing the nitty-gritty of teaching my kids.
No. Wait, when I'm talking about, because when I get people on programs like this, whether I'm doing generation or whatever, I like practical solutions.
Yeah.
We are talking about, you said that there are levels to this thing, or there are apps or something.
Okay.
Don't you think the help has to open the app, or like they can open the door?
I get it. Okay, well, for the children who are old enough to use apps, they can do it themselves. But maybe the toddlers help, the older ones can help them, but the older ones, they know what to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm using my own scenario to do. A 10-year-old and 8-year-old, they know what to do. In fact, they're the ones that operate your TV, operate your phone, your computer, so they know what to do. All I need the help to do is enforce the timing. If you're supposed to be reading between this and this, you should. But for the toddlers, okay, fine, help can help you, do what you need to do. But for the older ones, follow my schedule, do what, when I come back, I'll do what to do.
Okay, no, for those that have children that are 2 years to 3 years, so what do you think they can do then?
Okay, so
and they're staying
so you should have partner apps, where you can download a schedule for toddlers, from this to this, wake up, brush your teeth, play. So the help, you can paste it somewhere. The help knows what to do. They're of course their own reading hours or learning. Their own learning hours, shouldn't be as long as the others. But the help should be able to follow. Okay, from this to this, you should do your cocoa melon or whatever. From this to this, you should know what to do. But they need some form of guide, which the help should provide when you're not there. So there's that.
Okay. So now we're actually coming to the end of this, and I hope you learned something. You as a working mom, you understand. So now, what's your last word of advice to people?
Okay, so do what works for you, and that thing that works for you should be in the best interest of the child. As a parent, your children are under your care. Always take the decision that will be in their best interest. If you looked at your child and you feel holiday lessons, would benefit, maybe child didn't do so well last term, by all means, make sure he or she gets that. But if you feel, okay, I think you did well, you need a bit of rest, at home, engage the child. We ended up not talking about the things you can do, to keep yourself busy. So there are a lot of things, you can do to keep your kids busy during holiday. Coding lessons, baking lessons, dancing, swimming, books. Oh, I emphasize books a lot. If your child is a reader, your child's a riser, that child will go for, any child that reads would go far. Move, you can, this is even time to bond with your kids. Amusement parks, go out as a family. Take pictures, watch movies, educational movies. As in movies that will teach you about this country, you'll be surprised how ignorant our kids are. They don't even know when we had they don't know, the history of this country, of our continent. This is when they should learn. Those things are usually not taught in the classrooms, as much as they should. So teach them their history, let them watch movies, let them, even for those of you who are Christians, it's also time for them to learn their Bible passages, their memory verse. It's a time for them to just learn skills, as in how to sew, like kids who are interested in fashion design, they can learn a few things in 6 weeks or in 4 weeks about this country. You'll be surprised how ignorant our kids are. They don't even know when we had they don't know, the history of this country, of our continent. This is when they should learn. Those things are usually not taught in the classrooms, as much as they should. So teach them their history, let them watch movies, let them, even for those of you who are Christians, it's also time for them to learn their Bible passages, their memory verse. it's a time for them to just learn skills, as in how to sew, like kids who are interested in fashion design, they can learn a few things in 6 weeks or in 4 weeks. So you'll be surprised that later in life, is these things they learn during holiday lessons that that will now be their main source of income, not just what they learned in school. So they just try and be holistic and balanced as much as you can.
Okay, so that's it. Try to be holistic and balanced as much as you can and do what works for you. If it's the holiday lesson that's working for you, fly with it. If you're staying at home, fly, but please, no matter the two, please ensure that they're engaged and also that they're supervised. That's it on the Let's Talk segment of the Morning Brew today. My name is NMAJU, and I've had the pleasure of having Dr. Mrs. Chidinma Udah in the studio. Thank you so much for coming. We hope when we call you for other things, you're going to avail yourself.
Yeah.
So on behalf of the morning crew is good morning, bye for now, but please keep listening because morning crew continues. Good morning.